My name is Joanna. I live together with my bright and energetic first grader Nadia and my husband Alexander, who is always dependable, even if we do argue sometimes. My hobby is gardening. After giving birth to my daughter, I took a year off and then went right back to working full-time, 9 to 5 from Mondays to Fridays. My whole life I've lived in rental apartments, and none of them ever allowed pets. My husband, daughter, and I also currently live in a rental. Apart from working full-time and raising my daughter, I also volunteer at a shelter for stray cats. I first started when a friend invited me to join her, but as I continued to volunteer there, I also fell in love with cats. I want our family to adopt a cat one day. My dream is to buy a house with a garden where I can plant my favorite flowers, and where I can make a comfortable environment for a cat to live in, with cat towers and toys. The only thing that concerns me is my mother-in-law. During the summer, she wears Hawaiian shirts every day. She has a wavy hairstyle reminiscent of the 60s and a funky fashion sense. She's bold, without any sense of modesty. Alexander's childhood home, where his parents still live, is only a 10-minute walk away. My mother-in-law isn't a bad person, but she has no consideration whatsoever of how other people think or feel. For example, she's the type that will lift the shutters of a store that's about to close in order to go in and do her shopping. When there was a sports tournament in Nadia's preschool, only 2 people were allowed to attend per household because of the COVID-19 pandemic, but she still appeared. Since Nadia was their first grandchild, Alexander's parents really loved her. Alexander's mother loved shopping, but she exclusively only shops from thrift stores. She even goes as far as to dig through trash bins in order to find toys for Nadia. Those toys are always dirty. Receiving those sorts of gifts obviously doesn't make me happy. Ultimately, when Nadia's toys pile up, I'm the one who has to keep them tidy. And when I'm cleaning, I see how dirty those toys are. It obviously doesn't feel good. One day, I came home from work and saw my mother-in-law was busy doing something in our home. She had stuck large decorative stickers on the walls of the living room, as well as hammered nails to hang picture frames. She had taken pictures out of our photo albums without asking, and arranged them in a row on our bookshelves. "Oh, Joanna, welcome back." "Hello. What's this?" I like simple interiors, and I do my best to decorate as little as possible. Putting photos up in frames on your shelves just makes a room harder to clean and keep dust-free. "Joanna, you like cats, right?" The room looked a bit sad with nothing on the walls, so I put them all over. I also put up framed photos of cats. They're cute, aren't they? I married her son, but she's otherwise a stranger to me. This isn't her home. This is Alexander's, Nadia's, and mine. Where does she get the nerve to mess with people's homes without their permission? One day, when Nadia was still in preschool, I was stuck working overtime, so I had to ask my mother-in-law to pick Nadia up for me. At the time, Alexander was away on a business trip. Theoretically, the preschool has a program that allows kids to stay until 7 p.m., but because it's expensive, I decided to ask my mother-in-law for that favor instead. "I'm really sorry, but I have a meeting scheduled late this afternoon. Can you please pick up Nadia for me?" "Sure, no problem." On my way home after the meeting, I stopped by an expensive bakery to buy my mother-in-law some really fluffy and yummy bread as thanks. But when I got home, I found Nadia alone, sleeping in her room with a stuffed animal. Alexander's mother wasn't there. How could she leave Nadia alone like this? Shocked, I called my mother-in-law. "Hello, it's Joanna." "Oh, Joanna, what is it? Did you get back home from work?" "Yes. I found Nadia sleeping, but she's here alone." "You only asked me to pick her up, and she fell asleep, so I thought it'd be fine. Nadia's fine, right?" "Sure. She thinks it's okay to leave such a small child alone because she's asleep? She showers Nadia with love, and yet doesn't have this sort of common sense? Just thinking what could have potentially happened makes my blood run cold. I could have said something back to her at the moment, but I held my tongue because I didn't want to create unnecessary drama. There's no way I'll ever ask her to pick up Nadia ever again. The bread I had originally got from my mother-in-law, I ended up eating together with Nadia. Nadia moved on to elementary school, and at the beginning of the school year, there was a day that us parents could come to visit to see how our kids are in class. I went to work early, did all I could to finish my tasks for the day quickly, and headed to Nadia's elementary school. I arrived 5 minutes after the start of the parents' visit day, and as soon as I saw Nadia in her classroom, I felt my heart grow warm. "Joanna!" It was my mother-in-law's voice. Again. Only one family member per student was allowed to attend the event, but she came without asking. "Yes?" "Why are you late? Nadia was looking for you. Being late is outrageous. You should be the first parent here. Tardiness makes you a failure as a mother." I just stood next to her, silent. There was no rule stating that we couldn't come a bit late. Who is she to force her mindset that I have to be there first? And calling me a failure as a mother? Suppressing my anger and discontent, I kept my calm until the end of the parent day. When I got home, I decided I can't let things carry on like this. If I continue thinking that I shouldn't cause drama, my family's happiness and peace are at risk. I married Alexander because I wanted to spend my life with him. I even underwent fertility treatment so we could have Nadia. She is Alexander's mother, not mine. Legally, we are related, but other than that, she's a stranger to me and can't force me to do anything. A few days after I made that decision, I came back home with Nadia to find toys left in the living room and to see that the walls were once again covered in stickers. I immediately began ripping them down. "Let me help." Nadia began tearing down the stickers with me. It took some time, but with my daughter's help, our living room's white walls were restored. Luckily, the stickers came off smoothly and didn't leave any traces on the wall. We also removed the frame she had hung up. I took out the nails she had hammered in, but those, of course, left holes that would need to be filled in. I'll have to buy supplies from the nearby home improvement store. I took out our family photos from the frame she arranged on our shelves and put the frames into a bag. The stickers we tore down, I also gathered together in a separate bag. I planned to return these all to my mother-in-law. The frames could be reused, but the stickers were useless now. They were just a sticky black lump. We also put the toys she had brought for Nadia into a cardboard box. Of course, I first checked with Nadia that it was okay with her. She told me that she didn't need any of them. That evening, I spoke to Alexander about his mother. He listened to everything I had to say. I'm so glad he's not a mama's boy. He clearly told me he prioritizes Nadia and I over her. We gathered all the toys, picture frames, wall stickers, and photographs into a box and sent them to Alexander's parents' address. Of course, we didn't tell her anything. She came over and decorated without asking, so in return, we sent back everything without asking. On the day the box reached my mother-in-law, I received a barrage of calls and texts. I ignored them all. I ignored them because I planned on explaining everything to her once some time passed. She also tried visiting our home, but when I saw that it was her on the security camera screen, I didn't open the door. There was another reason why I was ignoring all contact from her. The reason was I didn't want her to get in the way of the preparations we were making to move into my dream home. Since we were moving soon, we had hired a locksmith to come and swap the locks on all of our doors. Because of that, my mother-in-law couldn't come in, even though she had a spare key. After visiting countless open houses with Alexander and Nadia, we found the perfect home with a garden, and I couldn't be any happier. Alexander and Nadia agreed to adopting a cat, and we managed to get a loan to help cover the house payments. My heart danced at the thought that my family was entering a new chapter of happiness. I later found out from Alexander's father that when my mother-in-law couldn't get in touch with us or enter our apartment, she became so depressed but she wouldn't get out of bed all day. About us sending things back, my father-in-law said, "I want to apologize for the way my wife would enter your house and make a mess without permission. I warned her many times, but she never listened. I'm very sorry. Could you please forgive us?" We're currently busy preparing to move, so I don't have time to contact her. Not knowing our plans, he replied in a surprised voice, "Moving? Where are you moving?" "Alexander will let you know soon." The day that we were going to move into my dream home finally was upon us. I used 3 of my paid days off so I could get everything done. The movers we hired did a great job. After we finished moving, I got to putting everything away and wiping the floor when I heard that abominable voice from behind me. "So, this is where you moved, huh? It's a nice house. It seems like you have good taste when it comes to these things, huh, Joanna?" Alexander had just told his mother our new address, and here she was. "Oh, I heard you've been having trouble getting out of bed these days." "Whose fault do you think that is?" I wonder." She then blatantly revealed how she felt about me. "I've thought this all along, but there's really no way for me to like you. You've never thanked me for anything I've done for you." She began rambling on. Once I finished wiping the floor clean, I stood up. "I'm going to make some coffee, so let's have a chat. Would you like your coffee hot or cold?" "Hot." I directed my mother-in-law to the dining table, pulled out a chair, and gestured her to sit. I then made a steaming hot cup of coffee, though I didn't want to say it. "It's very hot, so please be careful." I warned her, but she steadily sipped on the coffee while complaining about how hot it was. I poured myself some of the hot coffee into a cup full of ice and sat down in front of her. "Why are you here? Did you come to put stickers or hammer nails into our walls?" "I did that because I thought you'd like it." "Because you thought I'd like it, without asking me first? That was our house, not yours." I was wrong for not saying anything all this time, but I'm going to use this opportunity now. I want us to distance our families from each other. I want distance. I kept my wording soft, but what I really wanted to say is that I never want anything to do with her ever again. You once left Nadia home alone when she was sleeping, right? That really shocked me. If something had happened to her, if it had, I would have hated you for the rest of my life. Nadia doesn't need those toys anymore either. She said so herself, which is why we sent them back. I sent the stickers and pictures back because we don't need them either. After I vented some of my anger, my mother-in-law replied in a way that showed how crazy she was. "There's really no way for me to like you. I have a granddaughter now, so I don't need someone like you in my family anymore. Leave my son's home immediately." My mother-in-law jumped up and growled at me. "I have no choice. Fine. Nadia is with her tutor now, so I'll pick her up when she's done, and then we'll leave. I'll text Alexander about it, too." Here, I decided to have some fun. Anyone with common sense would know what I said next wasn't true, but common sense is something my mother-in-law didn't have. "We took out a loan for this house under your name. The loan was for $300,000. It's a 35-year loan, so that makes about $700 per month. You'll have to pay up." "Huh? What are you talking about? Why would I pay?" "It's your son's home, so we put it under your name, with the idea that you would move in eventually. Do you get it? You need to pass through a background check in order to take out a loan, during which they check whether one can afford to eventually pay back the loan. My mother-in-law lived off her pension, so of course she'd never be able to." "There's no way I have that sort of money." My mother-in-law, who had no idea of the terms of the loan or how it worked, was in tears as she took my theatrics to heart. "Please enjoy living in this house on your own." That night, after picking Nadia up, her, Alexander, and I went to a hotel in town. It was Nadia's first time sleeping in a hotel, so she was super excited. I got a massage at the hotel spa, during which I felt my tiredness and stress from the day melt away. I wonder what my mother-in-law was doing in our home now. I imagined it dreamily. I said a dirty lie to my mother-in-law, but Alexander accepted what I had done. He repeated that he treasures Nadia and I more than his mother. After spending the night in the hotel, we returned to our home at around noon. Alexander's mother was nowhere to be found. The story of the loan probably made her desperate. The next day, Alexander's father visited. He had come to apologize. We were about to explain to him that the loan isn't actually in Alexander's mother's name, but he already understood that. He had decided not to tell his wife the truth. At the time, I told Alexander's mother that the loan payments would be made from my bank account, so she would have to transfer me $700 per month. My mother-in-law actually listened and continues to take from her meager savings to transfer $700 to my bank account every month. This was a bit dirty of me, but I thought this payback was only natural after the trouble she caused us. Alexander's father also took that with a smile, saying that the money was going to Alexander when they one day pass away anyway. Like that, I was able to get rid of all my ill will against my mother-in-law. But I decided to let my revenge continue for a bit longer. For now, I'll appreciate the boost to my savings. And with that, I want to live a happy life with the family I love and my newly adopted cat.